Hello and welcome to Cryptic Change. Today we're going to be looking at 11 things which everyone in the crypto field should know, starting with the obvious and moving on to some neat little crypto tips that I hope will be useful to even the seasoned crypto veterans. So please stick around all the way to the end and remember to click that like and subscribe button. Now starting out, we're going to be looking at how you can find out where you can buy any coin you might want to invest in. And this might be common knowledge for a lot of people, but still every day I see so many posts on forums and other crypto communities where someone asks, hey, can someone please tell me where can I buy this coin? Where can I buy that coin? But actually it's very easy to figure this out for yourself. All you gotta do is go to the site called Coinmarketcap and find the coin you want. Let's say we want to search for Cardano. Then we're going to click that and we come onto the Cardano page, which gives us all sorts of info about this Cardano coin. And down here we see there's a button for market. And if you click that, boom, here we see a list of all the different markets or exchanges where you can buy this Cardano. And you can also see here what coin you will be needing to buy this Cardano with in a specific platform. So for example, if you look at the Binance platform right over here, you can buy ADA with the ETH token. Or if you look at the Coinbase Pro, you can buy ADA with Euro and so on. And it's the same for any token you ever want to buy. Now a little extra tip here, because although Coinmarketcap is by far the most popular site where you can find all this information, personally I prefer to use Coingecko, which has all the same stuff and then some. And to find out where you can buy a certain coin, it's just the same thing. You click the coin you want to look at and then just go down here, click markets. Boom, here you see all the platforms you can actually purchase ADA and what tokens you will need to buy it with. And that's going to take us right into our next tip, because before you go and register at all of these platforms just to buy the tokens you want, you always want to check, is there a referral code out there that will give me some special perks to this specific platform? And just by checking out the description of this video, you can find a whole bunch of them. Each and every one of these codes will give both of us some special perks. Some will give you $10 extra, some 20, some 40, some even $50. It varies and changes all the time. But even if you don't find the platform you're looking for in my description, always remember to search for other referrals and you will make a little bit of extra money. And that's going to take us right into our next tip, because every time you register at one of these platforms, you will have to set up a new account and create a password. And before long, you will have tons of passwords at different sites, which you have to start writing down. And this is why you always have to use a password manager. Now there's also several options for this. Me personally, I prefer to use BitWarden because it's free. You can get it for your browser, for your phone, for anything basically. And it's super easy to use and helps you keep track of all those passwords, because God forbid you would use the same password on every site. Then you're basically begging someone to take your money. And another neat function which BitWarden has is the ability to create a custom password for you, which is really helpful after a while as you start racking your brains on, what should I call this one? Well, I don't know. Just let BitWarden set up a bunch of random letters and that'll be it. If you want to get really paranoid, you can even select just to store your password locally, or you can have them in the cloud, whichever one you choose. Another option you definitely want to enable is to have it fill out your passwords automatically. All you gotta do is go to settings, scroll down to options and click this box here. And it's really helpful not just for the crypto scene, but also for all your other passwords, be it Facebook or Gmail or Dropbox or whatever you use. A password manager will keep you from ever being locked out of your own stuff again. But even though this will definitely improve your security in the crypto scene, there's another thing you always have to remember, and that is to enable 2FA or two-factor authentication. Now what this means is you'll get an extra little app which will create a secondary password for you every time you log in, which is only valid for 30 seconds. And this means even if someone were to get a hold of your primary password or even hack your password manager, they would still not be able to get to your assets. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen someone cry on forums about having their funds stolen, and every time someone asks, well, did you have 2FA? They were like, I was gonna do it, but yeah, well, there you go. So there's a tons of different ones you can use here too. Google has one that's really popular, but I don't like that one because that's not bound to anything. So let's say you lose your phone with your Google app, then you basically lose all your 2FA and you're gonna have a hell of a time logging in again. So that's why I prefer to use Authy, so you can actually log into it from several devices. And again, just like the password manager, don't just use this for your crypto things, but also put it on your email. That's super important. So many hacks happens through people's emails. And enable it for Facebook, enable it for Dropbox. Just slam that 2FA onto every online account you have. Now, as you'll move through the crypto scene, you'll soon be learning that sending different coins here and there is gonna cost you a lot of fees, especially in the Ethereum networks where the fees are just ridiculous. But since they're always displayed in ETH, it can be difficult to understand just how much money you're actually paying. And this is why you want to use Coingecko, because for every single coin on their index, they have a special calculator. It's always located quite near to the top. Here you see it here. And using it is pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is type in whatever sum you want to be calculated over to US dollars. So let's say some service wants to charge you, I don't know, 0.02 ETH, and it's gonna say, oh, they're actually charging you $67. Whoa, that's a lot of money. Maybe I don't want to do that transaction. And this is super helpful. I use it all the time whenever you're buying and swapping and doing whatever you're doing. It's always good to use this calculator to see how much things actually cost and how much you're getting. And Coingecko also has tons of other features, like for example this nifty little thing, which shows you a list of all different coins and how far away they are from their own all-time high value. So you see, for example, here Bitcoin is currently at $43,000, but it was at one time at $64,000. So this graph says it's currently 32% below its all-time high, which means it might actually be a good time to buy. And scrolling down here, you see all these different tokens, and this is really useful when considering what tokens might be smart to invest in. But back to the fees again, another fact that might be a little less known is that a lot of platforms will actually let you set your own fees. Now this works for most hardware wallets, some software wallets, and even some exchanges. And just as an example, I'm going to show you on Ledger. Let's say I want to send some money to a certain account. You can always see down here how much it's going to cost you, this much BTC and this much Norwegian kroner, which is what I've set it to. And even though this is far from the insane amount that Ethereum wants to charge you, it still seems unreasonably high in my opinion. So what you can do is, of course, select here. Now it says standard, which is 63 sats per byte. You can set it to low or even high, but the difference is so small, the end result is basically the same. However, you can also set it yourself, and the smallest amount you can set it to is of course 1, but very often that won't go through. So what I like to do is set it to 2. Now you see here it's 1 kroner instead of 33, which it said earlier, and this is really cheap, so I might want to do that, but the transaction will also take longer to go through. And to see just how much longer this is, you always want to check the Mempool, which is a list of all the transactions waiting to be added to the blockchain. Now, miners all around the world continuously work to confirm all transactions, but of course it's a business for them, so they want to make as much money as possible, which is why they will always select the transactions with the highest fees first. Here you can see a graphical representation of all the transactions waiting to go through on a certain node. The bottom line here, of course, represents the transactions with the absolutely lowest fees, which are going to wait a long while to go through, while the higher you go, the more incentive the miner have to confirm the transaction and add it to the blockchain. You can also see the TX number here, which tells you how many transactions are currently waiting at each level. And the interesting thing to note here is, of course, that this graph is highly volatile, which means that some days there's tons of transactions and the bottom ones will take a long time to go through, while other times you can send coins almost instantly while paying as little as absolutely possible. So whenever you want to send some Bitcoin and the fee seems unreasonably high, you always want to check this and see, oh, we're at the middle of a peak now, maybe I should wait a day, and boom, you can send it for far less. But of course there's other ways to save money on transactions too. Now if it turns out that the mempool is clogged and transactions are very expensive, one little trick you can do is always to convert your funds to Tether or USDT, because that will allow you to send that over the Tron network or TRC20 or even TRX network. And as you can see here, then the fee will just be a flat dollar compared to, for example, $40 if you were to send it over the Ethereum network. Now you might be asking, hey, why don't you send it over the BSC network, which is even cheaper than the Tron network? And the answer is, of course, that the Binance Smart Chain is a special chain which is mostly used for DeFi stuff, while the Tron network has been widely adopted by many exchanges and wallets, so that you can always send your coins back and forth without steadily shrinking it to the fees of transactions. Because what you want to do is, of course, to make your money grow. And how do you do that? Well, there's tons of ways, but I love to use interest platforms. And the most famous of this is, of course, BlockFi, where you can earn different percentages for various coins. And there's of course a whole bunch of other services like this out there. There's Celsius, Nexo, Crypto.com, just to name a few. And most of them are so easy to use that all you gotta do is just transfer your funds and the money will start to grow on its own. However, you should be aware of though that lots of these sites have special caveats, like for example Crypto.com, you have to lock up up your funds for specific periods of time to earn money, while BlockFi allows you only one free withdrawal a month, and then you have to pay quite high fees again if you want to take out more than that. Now, if you have a lot of different coins and you want to earn interest on all of them, you might waste a lot of time searching through all these platforms to find out which platform will take which coin. However, there is a little trick here, because Coinmarketcap actually has a special interest index which shows which platform will give you interest on which coin. So here you see Bitcoin and a list of all the platforms which will give you interest on that. It's of course the most common coin there is, so you can get it almost anywhere. But if we were to look at something like, let's say, Chainlink, boom, then you can see you can only use these platforms. Now the thing to remember is that this index will almost never be accurate. These percentages will almost never be correct, and also it seems to be very rarely updated in terms of which platforms has which coins. For example, right now I can see that they don't know that BlockFi also supports Link, but at least this will give you some idea when searching for where you can earn interest on a specific coin. And again, remember, before you register at any of these sites, do check for referral codes. And that's all I have for you today, my cryptic friends. I hope you found this useful, and will click like and subscribe to get more content like this. And if you have a neat little crypto trick of your own that you want more people to know about, then please tell me all about it in the comments below.